do progressives like themselves? Right? Like
you really want to put them on the couch.
I mean, I'm.
But the answer is no.
The answer is no. Well, right. No, and in a way, that's always been
Yes.
true, right? Nothing like a self-hating liberal, right? But like, it's these things where, maybe people aren't really postponing kids because of climate change. Maybe not. But progressives are having fewer kids. 30 years ago, progressives and conservatives in the Western world had the same birth rates, and today they don't. Right? 30,
it's all
40,
about the birth rates.
34. No, I'm gonna add some other data points besides my perpetual hobby horses, right? But 30 or 40 years ago, maybe progressives, if you looked at sort of statistics on depression and anxiety and so on, maybe progressives looked a little more neurotic than conservatives. But today, maybe it's the smartphones, maybe it's something else, right? Today, progressives look a lot more anxious and depressed and neurotic, right? So there's this whole constellation of things that I just wonder if, since we're in a week when we're talking about radicalization and violence and so on, right? I worry about a kind of radicalized, violent left. And I don't think we have that right now, but I worry about it, and I worry more than I did 6 days ago. But am I just sort of, am I just a conservative worrying too much? Do you worry about that kind of radicalization on the left?
At the moment, I don't, to just be blunt. I look at the violence of the past couple of years, and I see, the person who broke into Nancy Pelosi's home, and that was somebody who is kind of right-coded in their radicalization. I look at the person who shot the Minnesota former Speaker of the House and a state senator there, seem more right-coded. My worry right now is a little bit, I think, different than yours. I think violence is contagious. I think the evidence on this is overwhelming. This is true at all levels of violence. It is mimetic in a strange way. This is why there are groups that try to enforce a media code, not successfully, that we don't name mass shooters. Because there is fairly good evidence that naming mass shooters makes it more likely. Suicide is contagious. We know this too. And I am worried that political violence is becoming contagious and mimetic. So I am less seeing this as coded, left or right, and more seeing it as a kind of, mimetic disease that we go through periods that it becomes infectious. And I'm very worried about the escalation into one of those periods now.